Hey chess lovers, today we're gonna see another video on the prick defense, some call it as a perk defense. The game started with the prick defense as a black, but eventually as the game processed, it changed into the queen pawn game, the Anglo-slave opening. We are gonna play as black and cook the opponent on fire. If you're new to our channel, please subscribe and press on the bell icon below to watch more videos on prick opening. Click on the link given in the description. Okay, let's chess. White begins the game with queen pawn opening d4, black start with d6, pawn to c4 the old Indian defense, pawn to c6, knight to c3 and the queen to c7. White knight to f3 trying to control the centers, knight to f6 controlling the e4 and d5 squares, bishop to g5, another knight to d7 adding an extra defense on the knight on f6. Pawn to e3, pawn to e5 by black, white captures, black recaptures the pawn on e5 square, bishop to e2, ready for a castle, bishop to f7, black also ready for a castle, white kingside castles, black kingside castles, bishop to h4, rook to e8 by black putting more pressure on the e file, bishop to g3, dark square bishop to f8, knight to d4, the pawn on e5 cannot capture the knight since it is pinned to the queen on c7 by bishop on g3. Queen to b6 by black putting pressure on knight on d4 and pawn on b2. Knight move back to b3 preventing the attack on b2 pawn, and pawn to a5, black tries for advancement putting more pressure on the knight on b3, and the pawn to a4 by white, queen to c7, queen to c2 by white, bishop to b4 attacking the knight, knight to e4, knight captures, queen captures, knight to f8 by black, rook to d1, knight to g6, rook to d3, white plans for doubling the rook on d file, and here comes the stunning move, pawn to f5. Wow. Dark square bishop captures the pawn on e5. At this position, black has many different ways to play. Black captures with the rook, queen to d4, queen to e7 by black. Here comes the queen to d8 with a check, queen captures, rook captures the queen to check, knight to f8 blocking the check, knight to d4 by white, bishop to e7, cutting all possible square for the rook at d8, and the safest square is e8. Due to the pressure on the rook on d8, the opponent tried to exchange the rook with the knight on f8 with a check, and the bishop captures the rook, knight to f3 attacking the rook, rook to e8, white rook to d1, light square bishop to e6 by black connecting the rooks of a8 with e8, knight to g5, pawn to h6 attacking the knight, knight captures, rook captures, then rook to d7 attacking the free pawn on b7, pawn to f4 by black, g3 by white, black captures the pawn on e3, white recaptures, black captures with this rook, on e3, king to f2 attacking the rook, the bishop to c5. At this moment, white resigns the game and black wins the game. To watch more videos, don't forget to check out our channel. See you in the next video. Till then, take care, bye bye. Now signing off as your friend from Let's Chess.